Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives, the podcast where a monogamous couple drink heavily while recapping Sister Wives on TLC.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And hello if you've been here before, welcome back. If you are watching the new season of Sister Wives, welcome if you have not been here before.
Welcome one and all.
Where we go one, we go all.
Where we go one, we welcome all.
We are Corey and Carly. We've been recapping Sister Wives for almost 3 years now.
I don't believe it, but okay.
Corey had not seen Sister Wives when we first started this.
I jumped in at the classic television season 14, just
the season of moving.
Pure cinema of storytelling and riveting character development that took place in that season. They were on the way out. They were circling the drain, so to speak. I feel like we do have a large influx of people who are coming back to the show now, which is why we kind of want to give a little bit of context. Welcome aboard to any new listeners. Welcome back to any old friends. You can also join us over on the virtual cul-de-sac over at patreon.com/survivingpod if you haven't joined that party yet.
And you're pretty much a pro by now because we recapped season 14, 15, 16. Now we're going on 17. And in the off season, when Sister Wives isn't airing, we do a rewatch recap. So we have done seasons 1 through 9 now.
Oh boy. Yeah, just finished up season 9 right in time for the start of season 17 to hit the ground running here.
The catfish era.
It's happening. We just skimmed the surface. We just caught a little flick of the fin, so to speak. Just a little shimmer under the water.
If you're looking at our episode numbers and you're wondering, that doesn't make sense, where are all these episodes? That's because seasons 1 through 7 can be found over on our Patreon.
So check it out. Virtual cul-de-sac. Join the family, if you want to call it that. But we don't need to call it that. We also got a new logo, so we might look refreshed to old viewers, listeners as well, too. Changing it up because, yeah, Christine's out of the picture.
We had to melt down that third ring, just like the rest of Robyn's My Sister Wife's Closet inventory.
We had to turn it in for scrap in case my new boyfriend comes asking for money.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what do you want to do first? The episode description, and then we'll give a little recap of season 16 for anyone who wasn't watching the show and now has decided to join us all because shit got good.
We're back in the swing of things now. So maybe let's give a quick season 16 recap. Where are we picking up where we left off? What does the nanny do?
Wow, so you all are lucky you didn't have to sit through this. Maybe some of you did. You are here, you're the true survivors along for the ride with us.
We're all surviving together.
Last season, where we left off, pretty much the entire family hates Kody because of his, well, not his, let's say Robyn's COVID protocols, as he calls them.
The nanny's COVID protocols.
Yes, the nanny's protocols, which they pushed on the rest of the family, while Kody hid at Robyn's house the entire season, along with the nanny. Which
didn't keep the nanny safe, apparently. And then exposed the rest of the family at Ari's birthday.
At least that's what the nanny got COVID.
That is definitely what happened.
We don't know the source of the COVID infection that Janelle now has, but
guarantee you it had something to do with Ari's super spreader event.
All right, then Christine had to take Isabel to New Jersey for surgery after years of avoiding taking that step to correct the damage scoliosis has done to her spine.
It's been about 6 years coming, I think, probably.
A long, long time.
Long road.
Kody considered that a vacation, and he held it against Christine the whole season.
Because she got to go to New Jersey.
And he didn't, because he can't do that kind of thing. We're in the middle of a COVID crisis. And not just that. The truth of it is he's got other people he needs to consider. The big picture. The rest of the family, if you will. Robyn.
Mostly Robyn. And her children.
Speaking of children. Then Kody tried to kick Gabe and Garrison out of Janelle's house.
That was an interesting storyline. Definitely broke my heart in a couple different ways. Poor Gabe had a nice little breakdown on the couch.
Yeah, he really didn't have a lot of fans at the beginning of the season, but by the time we watched that, I think everybody was feeling the heartstrings were being pulled on, watching Kody be a total dick to him.
They dialed back on Gabe and Garrison's COVID stances so that way we wouldn't turn on them as an audience. And they really ramped up the absent father storyline, which honestly was the good way to go, because then that way we stayed invested and we were able to root for them. We wanted success. We wanted them to be all right through the end of this.
Someone no one is worried about is Meri, because she spent all season wandering through the woods alone, reminding us how lonely and alone she truly is.
Slowly becoming the lady of the woods that we foresaw in season 14.
Despite being the one family member who has the least likelihood of being exposed to COVID, nobody wanted to interact with her.
0% chance. Risk of exposure. Going to Meri's house.
Still, no one was willing to do it.
Nobody's doing it. Meri's whole entire summary at the beginning of this episode was, it's lonely. Like, I live alone. Yes, we know, Meri. Nothing is more clear than the fact that you are completely alone.
We talk about that more this episode, too.
We just gloss over it in passing. She is the footnote in the Sister Wives universe now.
Then the adults attempted dividing the Coyote Pass lots so that they could start building their homes, which really just ended with Christine losing the lot that she had wanted so that Robyn could get a primo lot with less trees and Janelle could get more room for her grow operation.
Hey. Smoke weed every day.
We don't know what she's intending to grow, but she needs a lot of greenhouses, and apparently they're going to pour a lot of water from that infected pond onto it.
Yeah, we're going to have to check the certified organic status, applying that much water, that much manure runoff coming down from the mountain. That ain't a mountain spring water, let me tell you.
They're going to bottle it.
I hope not. But I tell you, they might need to bottle something because they only got a 25,000 gallon cistern. And that's still top of the priority list for me as far as concerns on Coyote Pass.
Not enough water.
Not enough water for this many families, this many houses. This is ridiculous.
And finally, Christine confronted Kody about the lack of intimacy in their marriage. And he basically told her to get used to it, so she kicked him out of her house.
It's not the first time. Cody's used to this situation. Christine's not the first wife to kick him out. This isn't new to him, but we're going to pick up and see what is new to him because I don't think this is like the other times. One of these things is not like the others.
We usually start this off with Corey reading the TLC description, and then I give a little episode rewrite with what we really saw.
Yeah, we got to be honest here. Without honesty, we don't really have anything. So in this one, this is season 17, episode 1. It's over. The TLC description is Janelle tests positive for COVID-19. Kody confides in Robyn about his troubles with Christine. Kody and Christine sit down to have a tense discussion about the future of their marriage, which leaves Christine feeling empowered and Kody defeated.
That is exactly everything that we saw in the episode. They're not kidding.
I was going to say, we didn't see Janelle test positive for COVID. We did. It was just literally 2 seconds long.
We blow past the first 2 points here in the first, less than 5 minutes of the episode?
At most 5 minutes, 5 to 10.
Did Meri even get paid for this episode? Because she's not in it aside from the season 16 summary.
She's in the intro.
Right.
She's in the opening
The opening
graphics.
credits.
Yep. That counts. That counts as an appearance, I'm pretty sure.
Collect that paycheck, girl.
Need that check.
All right, so ready for my rewrite?
Let's hear the Carly episode rewrite.
Christine leaves Kody's ass. Someone finally admits Robyn's the favorite. Kody thinks his marriage to Meri is #couple goals.
Are you jealous of Kody and Meri's relationship? He tries to use that as a selling point when he's conversing with Christine about the status of their marriage. Count your lucky stars that you're not Meri.
Things could be so much worse.
So much worse.
By the way, I don't know if any of you are following Meri on Instagram. She's on a real journey right now using some new hashtags, trying to convince us that there's something new happening in her life.
#ready.
Ready for what?
Ready for anything. Up for anything?
Don't let her fool you. She's an internet troll.
That's what's going on. She's just dangling that little piece of cheese in front of all of us, and she's got it on a string. She's just going to yoink, keep pulling that away.
Let's get this pony in the water, though. We got to get into this episode. There is a lot to talk about. I got a lot to do, bitch.
Gee, bitch, I don't know. I got a lot to do. We kick off with what else? Pandemic footage, because a reminder here, this is self-shot diaries on cell phones because, yes, we're still in January, February 2021. We're way back. We're going way back into the COVID archives, deep tracks, greatest hits collection here.
They have gotten better at setting the cameras up. We'll give them that.
Framing has improved. I think they're getting enough feedback from the editors where they're like, look, you're doing this, you got to stop.
We couldn't use 90% of the footage you sent through last season.
You got to keep Ari in the other room.
Christine is reminding us of the conversation that she had with Kody about intimacy that ended with her telling him, don't come in my bedroom anymore. Well,
don't come anywhere with me.
I walked right into that one.
Yes, you did. I did like the footage that we got of Kody journaling very intensely.
Very pensively, right?
On the picnic table at Coyote Pass. It's quite a session out there, staring up into Robyn's window. It's as far as he can go from her location.
Just a lot of poems.
She has her telescope on the back deck to keep an eye on him. And the U-Hauls, which are probably still parked out there full of all of her Christmas decorations.
As we know, after that conversation took place, Kody found a bunch of his shit that used to be in Christine's bedroom, all boxed up in the garage. And we're pretending that we're picking up right where we left off. And Kody is walking into a room to have a spontaneous conversation with Robyn about it.
This is where this is very obvious that this is acting that's happening, right? And this has to be older in the timeline because what timeline is this? Where are we at in this scenario? They're trying to make it seem like this is January, February 2021, but he was talking about a conversation that they had at his car, which I think that happened around Isabel's surgery, which would have been like end of 2020.
Wasn't that our theory last season, though, was that conversation about not staying in her bedroom happened earlier than they actually presented it in the timeline?
It seems to be that way. And even in the way that Kody is bringing the information to Robyn as well, too, aside from the fact that, yes, they're having this informal chat, but managed to set up their cell phones on tripods and aim them at themselves to have this conversation, it's already staged. We know that.
Right. Robyn just happened to be sitting on the couch with her empty notebook and a pencil, ready to do some sketching for My Sister Wife's Closet. I don't know. What is she doing? She and Kody spent a lot of time writing in notebooks, apparently.
It's intense journaling that happens. Yes. A lot of intense journaling. But I thought this was interesting, too, because he kicked off with, I was going over to Christine's house while she was gone, while she was out of town somewhere, to grab something for Gabe. Gabe has COVID now, as we find out from Janelle. So Cody's going to be going and interacting with Gabe while he has COVID?
Again, I don't think any of it really lines up.
I don't think this doesn't pass the sniff test.
It is funny, though, that Christine left his shit in her garage, assuming he's not coming here, so I can leave for a weekend or however long she was gone, and he won't be here to see it.
I can stash this out here. He won't know. We'll talk about it later. But she's home now, so Kody has to tell Robyn, I have to go talk to Christine and figure out why she moved me out of the house. Because I didn't ask her about it. I didn't talk about it.
Why would you do that?
I just found these boxes, and I'm assuming, I moved out of the house. Why did that happen?
Well, into the garage.
Oh, into the garage.
He's not moved out of the house.
Not out of the house yet.
Robyn is trying to save face here, right? This whole conversation seems designed to make us remember that Robyn is the number one sister wife who goes to bat for all of her other sister wives. And so in this conversation, she's telling Kody, you have to go to Christine's house. You have to stay there overnight, even if she doesn't want you there. There's no way you can work on your marriage if you're not in the house.
You got to sleep on the couch. If she kicked you out of the bedroom, you have to stay on the couch. You have to be there in some capacity. So that's what you got to do. And Cody's like, hell no. We're not monogamous. I didn't sign up for that. I didn't sign up for sleeping on the couch when stuff gets rough. I'll just go to somebody else's house.
Also, not trying to be sexist, which is the way a misogynist starts a sentence, by the way. But why does the man have to sleep on the couch? Because you're the asshole in this situation.
Because you're wrong. Because Kody, then takes a stand for men everywhere, declaring that women should sleep on the couch in struggling marriages. Because even when Kody is being a dick, it's because Christine pushed him to be a dick.
You know he's out there fighting for #men's rights.
You know that.
He also can't stay at Christine's house because where is he going to shower?
No place to shower. He'd have to do a walk of shame. Not going to do that. It's not going to happen. Forget about it. Even though wasn't the only reason that he would stay at Christine's was because her shower was better? Or no, he wouldn't stay in the basement at Lehigh.
Right. This has been a long-standing problem. He would stay at Christine's house and then leave in the morning, go upstairs to Meri's house and shower there, and that would upset her.
So was that a walk of shame?
Yes. They were actually having sex back then.
Should have been considered a walk of shame.
How quickly we forget. And also, what? Isabel, Truly, Gwen, who all live in that house, don't have a bathroom?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe you wouldn't be able to use the shower in Christine's room because she gave you the boot. So you're out of the primary bedroom. Tough luck, but that's the hand you're dealt. So you're telling me there's not another bathroom in that house at all? You have to go through Christine's bedroom to go to the bathroom in this house? That's the only bathroom in this house?
No.
I highly doubt it.
No. He just doesn't want to go into the girls' bathroom.
He doesn't want to share a bathroom with teenage girls. He'll see their tampons. He'll get too close to them, and he can't deal with that. He can't deal with that.
Isabel's got like back surgery stuff in there. He doesn't want to be around it.
Gross. Ew. Don't get him started.
Robyn's trying to maintain some level of optimism in this conversation, so she's telling him, or she's just sitting there telling him, I should say.
There was a lot of sitting there's in this episode. Can we mention that really briefly? Because Kody was just letting him fly.
I would love to do a drinking game when you hear her just sitting there, but you will probably die of alcohol poisoning.
You'll pass out.
For sure. So what is Robyn fighting for here? She thinks that Christine is just testing him, maybe. That's why you have to stay there. She might come downstairs. She might talk to you.
But Kody knows this is a game. This is a power move. This is Christine choosing where I get to lay my head at night, and I don't like that. It's too controlling.
And this has happened to him before. He's had Meri. He's had Janelle. He's had Robyn. He's had Christine. Every one of his wives kick him out in the past, so he's pretty used to it.
Meri used to play this game all the time, and it's a game Kody will no longer play. So he's looking to stand his ground. He's going to go give Christine a piece of his mind that he's not playing these games. You're moving his stuff out in the garage. You're telling him to sleep on the couch. That's not going to fly over here, little lady.
My favorite part of this conversation is when he mumbles about how he wishes he had told Janelle instead of Robyn.
Because Robyn was giving him so much shit about still going over there and you need to sleep on the couch. And he's like, man, I should have told Janelle because she would have said, you could stay here, I guess. You don't have to sleep on the couch at Christine's. It's not worth it.
Robyn feels powerless. So I guess she's the real victim in all of this.
She hates that. She has no control over any of this drama that's going on with Kody and Christine, and it can affect the whole family. So that's the real drawback, mainly referencing her. It can affect her, and she has no say in it.
Back at Janelle's house, she is officially quarantined because she does, in fact, have COVID after the cliffhanger that they left us on last season.
Oh my God. I don't know how I made it this long. Held on to find out that Janelle did. And she must have had some pretty serious brain fog as a COVID symptom because she almost forgot to tell us that she did test positive for COVID. And then she kind of circles back on it. She's like, yeah, the test for the COVID thing. I got that. That's the thing I got it too.
The stakes are so high here. Will Janelle and Savannah make it through? We just don't know.
Yeah, because Savannah has it too, which we just mentioned in passing. I think Kody tells us in an aside thing. Just slips that in.
Year and a half later, I don't know. Will they make it?
I hope it doesn't get any worse. But this just becomes the entire theme for the episode for Kody is battling the unknown. We don't know. Will Janelle and Savannah get better? We don't know. Well, we know, you and me, Carly, we know, obviously, they get better because we're a year and a half in the future.
Right. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
They're both out here.
They're fine.
They're out on these streets doing fine.
They're good. Cody and Christine, though, not so much. So Cody's going to go ahead and venture into the unknown this episode, which is Christine's house.
He's heading over there. He is still angry about his stuff being moved. And Christine, she doesn't really want to talk to him. He gives her a lot of anxiety when he's around. His presence is just annoying. But here he is, ready to have a conversation.
Oh, I thought you were going to say hat in hand, cap in hand, to talk about the audacity of Christine moving his stuff out of his house. We got to talk about it.
No. Into the garage. He makes that very clear. You moved me into the garage,
right.
Which, LOL.
I kind of noticed you moved me into the garage, is how he kicks off this conversation.
It's not like she set a cot up in the garage. The shit is in boxes. It's ready to go out the door of the garage.
Yeah, you're not into a garage. You're out of the house. You're not going in anywhere. You're going out.
Really not going in anywhere.
For real.
What Christine tells us is that this was all the result of the conversation they had about the lack of intimacy in their marriage and Kody telling her he's not attracted to her.
And this is where he argues, well, clearly the punishment does not fit the crime here because, yeah, I wasn't attracted to you. Whatever. That doesn't mean you get to move my stuff out in the garage.
Well, he denies that he ever said that he wasn't going to be intimate with her. He just shrugged his shoulders.
He didn't say those words. He didn't say those things. But by not saying things, you can imply other things because that's the difference here is that he implied and Christine inferred. And she actually received the message he was trying to send. And now that's upsetting.
Yeah, wow. You're pulling out the thesaurus on us now.
Well, I'm just saying. That's what's going on.
Kody's trying to defend himself on the couch. He isn't going to fool around with a woman who is talking about leaving him. That's why he just shrugged his shoulders. That's why he hasn't been doing anything with Christine.
She's been telling everybody she wants to leave. She's been telling everybody, but she never talked to Kody about it. And now she comes around talking about how she wants an intimate marriage with Kody. She wants all this intimacy. And no, he's heard all these rumors. He knows what she's saying behind his back.
Doesn't bring it up to her.
He doesn't bring it up in that moment. That would probably be a good time to say, I don't think that I'm ready to explore that because I've heard these things. Is this true that you're thinking about leaving, that you would want out of the marriage? Because why wouldn't you take that opportunity to talk about it and provide a frame of reference for the decision that you're making?
Because he doesn't want to have sex with her either way.
Because they're not going to communicate. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want to fix anything. There's nothing here.
Christine's over his shit. That's pretty much what we learn at the beginning of the conversation, which is why it's just a chef's kiss from here on out.
It's so good. Yeah, Christine has a jaw drop moment, a couple of them. And then she gets a little feisty too. I think the producers are finally asking the right questions. They're going more reality TV into this. It's not docuseries anymore.
Yeah, and I think Christine doesn't have the energy to argue with Kody face to face anymore, but they're giving her the footage to react to, so she's reacting to it where she's safe, which is on the couch with the producers, which is perfect because I love that we're actually getting answers to what's going on and they're honest. And what it's telling us is all the theories that the fans have been coming up with for a long time, they've been pretty true for the most part.
This is where I feel I get hesitant to believe it wholeheartedly. Is it fun to watch? Is it fun to see this storyline? Absolutely. Is it 100% real? Is it accurate? Or is it fabricated and built to spoon feed us the storylines that we already came up with as a fan base?
I don't think they're that good of actors. We've been watching this show. That's what's great about it, right? There are 12 years of documentation of this family. And I think people have been seeing what's been going on while they've been trying to put this facade on. And now things have really fallen apart.
So now Christine's ready to be done. She's ready to set both of them free. That's the terminology that she keeps using. Ready for them both to be free. But Kody has to remind her, it hasn't been all bad. It's mostly this COVID thing. And we're trying to get through it. And Christine has to point out, no, dude, it's been 10 to 12 years of bad.
AKA when Robyn entered the family.
Not just COVID bad. It's Robyn bad.
Since Christine was pregnant with Truly, that's how far back we're going. And we know because we've been watching the rewatch of the seasons and we see how many times there have been mention of the difficulties in their marriage. Kody doesn't remember. It was beautiful. It was amazing. There was nothing wrong until you started being a bitch and wouldn't follow the rules during COVID.
So Christine runs the tape back for us, and she recounts why this was so difficult for her, because at the time, they were so strapped for cash still. Christine was a stay-at-home mom for her children, Janelle's children, and Meri's child, and she also needed to provide an income because they were still coming up short on the bills. So she took night jobs and would leave 10-year-old Aspen to run the house in her stead in the evenings.
Wow. I mean, we knew it had to be happening, right? Because we have the father of the family, Logan, and unfortunately he's upstairs at Janelle's. So poor Aspen is in charge of all of these kids while Kody is busy just in another part of the house.
Because this is where Christine asked Kody, hey, I need help because I'm leaving the house and I don't think it's a good idea to leave a 10-year-old daughter in charge of all these other younger children in the house alone.
Nor is it fair to that child who's being parentified.
Don't do that. Yeah. But Kody says, no.
I'm in other houses. I'm busy.
But the Lehigh house was one biggie housey, was it not?
I mean, he can't use the stairs from Meri's down to Christine's. He's not going to go outside.
He has to, right. That is the path that you do have to go. That is the trail that was beat in the backyard was those steps between Janelle's house and Christine's house.
Now, obviously, we have a problem with this, right? Because Kody enjoys having so many children, but can't step up to the plate to help parent those children when it's needed. Also, where are her sister wives? Just a question. Wasn't that what they fed us? The greatest thing about being in plural marriage is that you have sister wives who can do things like this when you need them to.
Can I tell you the other part that bothered me too was probably the fact that Christine had to not only parent all these children, but then go out, get a night job and help pay the bills. But then meanwhile has since watched Robyn not work a day in her fucking life in this family. That's gotta hurt.
Corey, what are you talking about? She used all of their retirement money to start My Sister Wife's Closet, which was just a smashing success.
All that sterling silver's still burning a hole in their pockets. But Kody denies this outright. That didn't even happen. This imaginary timeline that Christine was living in, we didn't have this conversation. Never happened. She was asking for more than the other sister wives at that time.
First of all, that's funny because this was mentioned in Robyn's #1 New York Times bestseller, Becoming Sister Wives, where Christine talks about being extremely overwhelmed with all of the responsibilities she had while she was pregnant with Truly and needing help and pushing back on things for the first time in her life. So it happened. And then, yes, did she want a little bit of help parenting her children? How come that's not an issue that Robyn has needed Kody to be in her home? What was it? She said last season the kids can't see him, that he can't be gone for more than 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. Otherwise, the little ones get unruly.
And that's also a ridiculous timeline because we know that he's spent pretty much every day there since COVID has started.
I'm sure it's only gotten worse. He definitely can't leave the house now. They're really attached to him. But that's all BS. And Christine even comes out in the open and admits it. Look, I wasn't the best sister wife by any standards. Not too close with Meri, not too close with Robyn, but she is super close with Janelle. So if we're being fair about assessing where we're at.
It's not like she has bad relationships with everyone, which this is the same line that Kody pulls out of his pocket whenever he needs to. He does it to Meri. You have bad relationships with other people in the family, and until you repair those relationships, you're not going to have a good one with me.
But he means Robyn.
Well, I would say Meri has a good relationship with Robyn out of everyone.
So maybe it is generalized for the rest of the family, for Meri's circumstance. But when he tells Christine this, he means Robyn.
Oh, yes. And she knows that too. That's why she lets the cat out of the bag here, that Kody doesn't spend any time with them.
Kody wasn't there. He's never around. So she does the math for us and runs the numbers.
He's only spent 3 full days with them doing activities since they moved to Flagstaff over 800 days ago.
And to be fair, they're not hiking and kayaking 800 times over that span either. But, I mean, you got to take into consideration, if you're only counting 3 full days, what's a full day? She didn't really get into specifics on that. Because then Kody tries to wiggle his way out of this one too, because, hey, I have work. I have things I got to go do. Yes, but that means if you're not spending time at the house, you're not spending time with the people at Christine's house, and you're not there.
Why does he park his ass at Robyn's house all day and sit home and do nothing, which we watch him do on film when we watch this show, but he's so busy that he can't do that at Christine's house. And then he turns it around saying it's Christine's fault. She has so much time to play. Where does she get all this time from? She's doing nothing.
He works and has things to do, allegedly, he claims, but he doesn't have time to play like she does. Now, keep in mind, this is a man who quantifies life-altering back surgery for his daughter as a vacation. So what does play time really mean?
means being the sole caregiver of your child after they've had surgery and need around-the-clock care for a couple of weeks.
Well,
That's what it means.
He knows that it certainly doesn't mean cooking and cleaning.
Not trying to be sexist.
Well, and I think in that sense, it's like she probably is cooking and cleaning, but just not for you because you're not there.
And she hates you.
So
when you come over, it's not a priority to make sure the house is clean and perfect for you, or that you have a nice home-cooked meal that you're looking forward to that you have not seemed to have any appreciation for over all of these years.
She's probably like, oh, Kody's coming over, so let's order like the shittiest thing possible that he hates. What does Kody not like? Sushi? Let's get sushi.
What was that place that just recently got shut down from the Board of Health? Let's order from there. Maybe he'll leave earlier.
We'll order yeah, he's definitely not going to go to the bathroom. He's going to have to leave to go to the bathroom. He's not comfortable using the bathroom here. Walk of shame.
Now Christine's frustrated. And she's asking Kody, why are you trying to hold on to me? This is not working. Because she's come into this conversation ready to say, I'm done. And Kody is trying to avoid getting to that part of the conversation.
But Kody is blaming Christine for turning him off with her behavior. So his lack of husbandry is her fault as a wife.
Right. We finally are getting to some level of truth. Because we started with, well, I just shrugged my shoulders. I wasn't giving you an answer. That didn't mean that I wasn't interested. But now we find out, in fact, he isn't interested in having a sexual relationship with her. And it's all her fault.
Because it's all these nasty things that you do. And then Kody starts looking around and he starts adding things up in his head because he's like, I bought this stuff, this table, this chair, this coaster, this fridge, that bed that you kicked me out of so rudely. I bought this stuff. It's my place too. And it's like, he may have helped finance it. Maybe.
I feel like he thinks all the money that comes in from the show is a result of his hard work.
It's his money. Yeah. But it's like, you may have financed things by purchasing stuff and providing in that way. But if you're not involved, then it doesn't mean anything. You're not involved. You're not there.
That's the point Christine has been trying to make, but not getting through that thick skull of his.
I feel like they cut some of it out too, because she does reference later on a couple of things where it's almost calling back of like circling back to, yeah, you're not here. Even when you are here, you're not present. And she kind of skips over that. But I think that was mentioned probably multiple times. This is a long conversation that takes place, by the way.
The sun starts to go down. That's how long they've talked.
It happens in the show. But the whole conversation for Christine is terribly embarrassing, especially going back and watching it and then commenting with the producers now, too. She's super embarrassed by all of this.
This is where you can tell the producer has put it out there, floated the idea of Kody acting like a coward. And so she says, he is a coward. She's agreeing with the producer. So excellent reality TV production going on here. He needs to man the fuck up and give me the respect of telling me he doesn't want to be married to me anymore.
We've been together 30 years. The least he can do is level with me.
He's not going to. He's been married to Meri for longer, and he will not tell her that he doesn't want to be married to her anymore.
That's the heel he's going to die on.
Now things get serious. Christine tells Kody, being married to you has been heartache. I tried so hard to be what you wanted all of these years.
And Kody has to throw that in her face too. You tried everything except treating your sister wives with respect, which again, he means Robyn.
Right. Christine's like, I don't know what you mean.
Because you're clearly not talking about, I have a great relationship with Janelle. So you're not talking about my sister wives in general. You're talking about a specific sister wife. Stop beating around the bush. Just say it.
He is the worst with not being honest with what he's actually trying to communicate.
Well, and this was the lesson too. It was where it was, you'll never be good enough for the wrong person. Clearly, Christine has tried so much to appease, to please, and to pacify Kody in their relationship together. But nothing she does is ever good enough because they're not compatible.
This next part was the real bombshell to me. Kody says that his heart has been broken, and it's a pissing match now. Because of her complaints about plural marriage, Christine was great at mothering Janelle's kids. He kind of stopped short of giving her a compliment. It was almost there. But she was never willing to mother or be a good mother to Robyn's kids.
And we already disproved that on TikTok. we snuffed that right out as soon as they released this clip as a trailer. So go check that out. But we already ran the tape back to, was that season 8? Season 6?
I think it was season 6, if I'm remembering right. The conversation where Robyn has hired a nanny and Christine is extremely upset that Robyn would not only do that, but not ask her first if she would watch her kids. But it's all Christine's fault, right?
She's not trying. She's not trying to make these relationships happen with her sister wives.
I'm glad he finally said it, though, because that is what people have suspected, that the issue, the root of it, is Robyn, and that the man who doesn't hold grudges is holding a grudge about the fact that Christine did not drop everything, including her newborn baby Truly, to go run over and take care of Robyn's kids when she joined the family.
But if Robyn doesn't let you take care of her kids, how can you be a mother to her kids?
I don't know. There's no winning to this because, like you said, he doesn't want a relationship with Christine. He's going to find any reason to tell her there's something wrong with her and the way that she acts.
And this is where they kind of break down to where they look back fondly on their relationship. Well, we were romantic at a few points, at one point, because Kody didn't know any better, is the excuse that he provides. He fell in love with her because she treated people great. And then when she started treating people badly, fell out of love with her.
Translation, our marriage was great when you would keep sweet, shut the fuck up, do everything that I needed and everyone around you needed. And when you said you couldn't handle it anymore, you weren't that important to me anymore. You lost your worth, your value in this family.
Also, my love is conditional. And
Yes.
It's based on what you have to provide value to the family.
And Christine is tired of this. She can't meet all of this criteria for Kody, for him to love her. First of all, that's a fucked up thing to have to do in a marriage. And she doesn't even believe at the end of the day that it's actually about that.
Kody has a list of criteria, but if Christine acts like herself and is honest, she can't qualify on that criteria list. She cannot be herself because he's not attracted to that. It's a form of rejection, and then placing the blame on her for the rejection. So it means she can't do anything to fix it either. So it's over. Just call it. It's done.
Now Kody thinks that it's time to unravel things further because he's just trying to hurt Christine at this point in the conversation. So he tells her, you know what? I wasn't attracted to you when we got married.
He felt pressured into this whole thing and he didn't know any better. Just like the murder tarp anniversary date with Meri when he was saying kind of the same thing. I think he honestly confuses his relationship and the failed marriage that he has with Christine, and he's carrying all this other stuff of his failed marriage with Meri and starts throwing that around too. He's using the same exact terminology, same exact description, same exact excuses.
Until you just said that, I totally forgot that he told Meri the same thing.
He told her that when he had the kill kit in the trunk.
That he felt like he was forced into marrying her and that they didn't really know each other. Was that it?
They rushed into it. They didn't have enough courtship and he was bamboozled and tricked into loving her.
Right. She tricked him.
So this is where Christine has to remind everyone here, there are not, repeat, not arranged marriages in their religion. So Kody was not forced or pressured or required to do this by any stretch of the imagination.
Although he probably was under pressure to marry her because he had Meri and Janelle at each other's throats back at his house. Remember, that's why he had to marry Christine, was because he needed someone to come in and repair that relationship because he was incapable of doing that himself.
And they were trying to court an 18-year-old at that point to be wife number 3, and she fell through. So we needed somebody to step in, step up, and right now
The backup.
is the backup. It worked. It felt like destiny, didn't it? Did it not?
Why is it so easy for you to just throw that all away?
Probably because of the 10 years of absolute torture and misery. I think that would probably be top of the list reasons for why it's easy to put this shit behind me.
Why is he trying to do this? Why won't he just let her go? Because nothing more romantic than hearing someone say they feel obligated to make it work and that the timing is bad. It could have been a more convenient time for you to leave.
It's irresponsible to divorce at this rate, too. We need to work towards reconciliation. Stay together for the kids, as Blink-182 says.
Was it irresponsible when Robyn divorced her husband while she had 3 young children and at a tender age?
Tender. So tender. Moist, juicy, and tender age. Gross.
Now he's just angry. And he's getting the vibe that Christine has already moved on. She's over this marriage.
This is where they're so out of touch. Kody doesn't even realize she's already done at this point. Like, this isn't a conversation of, hey, how do we fix this? And let's reconcile and agree to disagree and come to terms on things. No, Christine is leaving, and this is just to notify you of that change.
He's starting to understand that at this point in the conversation.
Because it starts clicking. He's like, oh, she's already moved on, and I'm angry and pathetic.
That's why he starts getting on a soapbox about how much he has sacrificed to keep this family together. And he starts pointing his finger aggressively at her.
There's no trust between either of us. And stop pointing your fingers at me, please, while you're talking. But then he continues to point both fingers at her while he's talking to her. He gets more worked up. It's like, dude, stop. No.
He also thinks that he needs to circle back to the intimacy thing because I guess he knows, or he's thinking in his head, if I just say, sure, we'll work on that, she'll be quiet and we can go back to things being the way they were and this won't be a problem.
Breadcrumbs. He's reaching in his bag to feed the breadcrumbs like he does with Meri. Feed the birds.
So she tells him, she corrects him because he thinks that she's still interested in having an intimate relationship. And she says, was. I was interested in an intimate marriage, but I'm not anymore.
Past tense. Was interested. Not is interested anymore. That ship has sailed.
So now it's time to start blaming her again for what the problem is. So you're just gonna give up on all this blissful marriage because you never got over being jealous when Robyn joined the family, which is, of course, bullshit. And this is where Christine points out the issue is that he has a favorite wife, and apparently I'm not treating her well enough.
That's the deal. That's what it comes down to. This is where Christine poses the question, do you still want to be married to me then? And Kody has to flip it on her so that she can say that she wants to leave and he can say that it's not his fault that she chose to leave. That's why.
Exactly, because he can never tell another wife that he doesn't want to be married to them anymore, as we've seen play out with Meri.
That's not his decision.
And Christine says, no, I don't want to be married to you anymore.
So then Kody has to shrug it off too. Well, nobody's a prisoner here, so that's your decision. That's fine.
So what does that mean now?
So what now? It means Christine's moving back to Utah.
Which seems to shock Kody, despite the fact that Christine initially tried to get the entire family to move to Utah with her.
I forgot that was like, yeah, she talked with Kody in private multiple times about convincing the other wives to move back to Utah now that polygamy was decriminalized. And it was a no-go. Not happening. And now with Christine divorcing Kody, she's going to move back to Utah? This is completely out of the blue.
He is acting like she's going to kidnap Truly in the middle of the night and take her to some bunker in Utah where he will never have access to her again.
We have children together, though. You can't just take them and leave legally, I don't think.
What are their names? I'm going to have to know that when I talk to a lawyer.
I'm going to have to call Ron.
Good old Ronald McDonald.
Back in Vegas, Ronald McDonald Esquire. But yeah, I think he should have lumped Truly's name in on the legal adoption there back in season 9. That probably would have been a good call. In hindsight, can't leave the state legally. It's her fucking kid. You barely have claim. You're not even a resident.
You don't come see these kids. But now that she wants to move and divorce you, it's a problem.
Well, just because we're not lovers doesn't mean we're not family. Family is family, and you can't take that away from us. You still gotta co-parent here. How do you co-parent with Kody?
I imagine him being one of the worst. It's like, gotta be like an early episode of Teen Mom where you just get nasty texts constantly. He just doesn't show up on the day that he's supposed to be there, misses visitation.
Petty as fuck.
Petty as fuck.
And Kody has to lock in again on the jealousy. He's sitting there recounting all the jealousy that Christine is bottled up. She's not taking accountability for this jealousy. That's not very mature of her, is it? I have all these other wives, these 3 other wives that he almost remembers all their names right off the tip of his tongue. He almost rattles them off without
He almost
stumbling.
forgets Janelle, interestingly.
Always.
And then he starts talking down to Christine like she's a child at this point in the conversation. He's chastising her about how she needs to act like an adult when she's the one who has been calm in this conversation, isn't making accusations, is being very matter of fact about what it is she wants and communicating clearly. But she's the immature, childlike one.
Don't have to be your lover to be a good parent. Does that work both ways, though? Because I think he's put his parenting behind that wall, because if our relationship isn't good between Kody and whichever wife, then he doesn't come around. So he's withholding his parenting because they're not lovers. So how does that work?
Thank you for pointing out what a hypocrite he's being.
It's just interesting, all these different standards that Kody has for everybody else around him, but then he doesn't abide by those standards.
Cody's got a big fear, though, about Christine moving to Utah. He would really like it if she would just bring somebody here to Flagstaff if they were in a relationship. You just move your whole life here. It's okay. People can come here to be with you. You don't need to go to be with other people.
You're already here. I'll save so much on gas if you stay here. But dude, Kody, you have not been here for the last 10 years. And I'm talking about anywhere we've lived. We're talking going back to the cul-de-sac. You haven't been here.
Again, he's trying to blame everything on COVID. So she tells him, you know what I learned in COVID, bitch? That I can do it without you. You're pretty irrelevant, to be honest. Hallelujah.
At least somebody finally said it. But Kody has to button this all up for us here, wrap up this part of the conversation, because we're not done yet. But Kody just sums it up where Christine has lost her faith, her religion, and now she wants out of this marriage.
He's still thinking for some reason that everything is related to the past 10 months of what they've experienced with COVID. He's not getting that this has been going on a very long time. He refuses to admit that.
Because that's the thing. He's like defending the fact where he's like, oh, I get that you feel neglected due to COVID. All of my adult children have been coming to me as well, saying that they feel neglected during this time. Don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're alone in that. I've been neglecting everybody equally.
I'm fair about it.
Okay. Because the truth is of that matter then is that it's actually each of the mom's faults who are not abiding by those protocols, by Robyn's, the nanny's rules.
This is where he tells Christine his biggest fear.
Oh, and he sets a scene for us here.
You take Truly to the most polygamy-unfriendly state in the Union.
Because it's still 1892, and he's referring to it as the Union. Okay.
Which is also funny because, what was that, season 15? That we watched them go to the Darger's house to celebrate the fact that polygamy was now like a parking ticket in Utah.
Slap on the wrist.
But anyway, you get a boyfriend who wants our money. And in between you, the boyfriend, and the state of Utah, I lose access to Truly and all my money.
Okay, so I've already established on the pod, I'm a petty bitch, right? Because what would my line be? Don't worry, Kody. We won't do what you did to Robyn's ex. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a burn.
But that's
a deep burn.
You got to put his mind at ease. Adults, you know what the adult thing to do is? Sign over your parental rights. That would be the adult thing to do.
She cannot believe these words just came out of his mouth, and you can tell because he says, I need you to promise me that.
A Utah user boyfriend. That's the biggest concern that Kody has on the docket right now.
And she's just like, sure.
Sure, I promise.
That won't happen. I promise.
Pinky promise. Notice she didn't make any promises about any girlfriends. Maybe she'll have a user girlfriend that'll shake things up.
That would be fun for us to see.
That'd be fun.
But, either way, it's not Cody's money, right?
Is it? Not the money from the house. He already sold that.
And on the couch, Christine says, you know what? This conversation has just made it clear as day to me. I have made the right decision. There is no doubt in my mind.
Affirmations all around, just based on this conversation alone.
Now he's starting to harass her because he sees like a glint of hope in her eye.
Well, so this is the point in the conversation here, too, where the sun is setting on this day, as well as the conversation. It's getting dark outside, just as dark outside as it is inside right now, because the conversation takes a turn. Kody gets jealous, seeing the little glimmer, the glint in Christine's eye at the thought of getting out of this marriage.
Because he would love to walk away from polygamy, too.
Oh, yeah. He's full-on monogamous now.
And he said that. Didn't he say that was at the murder tarp date or one of the seasons where he was ranting and raving a lot in the couch footage? He was talking about...
Doesn't narrow it down.
But it doesn't. But he was talking about how it's not fair that they have the option to leave and he doesn't.
The wives can leave at any time.
But he did leave. He left them emotionally and physically.
Emotionally neglected, I believe was the term that Suki used, that he made her take back at the tell-all. But it was probably the most accurate. But I think before that point, he didn't know those terms until he talked to Robyn and she explained them to him.
She's the empath of the family, as we know.
She has to be.
He's getting pissed. She seems excited about leaving. And then he tells her, you should be happy with what you've gotten because we've had more romance in the past 5 years than Meri and I have had in our relationship.
To be fair, everyone on the planet has had more romance than Meri has, that poor soul.
And this is where she says, I would never want what you and Meri have, nor do I want Meri to have that relationship with you.
Right. I feel bad. There is only pity in my soul for Meri and her relationship with you.
That was the moment, you know, when they stood at, was it Coyote? They were on Coyote Pass and Meri was trying to get her to look at the mountain and telling her, like, you know, look at my relationship with Kody.
That was the turn. Yeah.
That was where she knew, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
I gotta get out of here.
Another amazing line delivered by Christine on the couch. Kody's willing to compare my marriage to his marriage with Meri, but not his marriage with Robyn.
Right. I think that's another double standard that's easily pointed at here, where look at how badly I treat my other wife, but don't look at how good I treat this wife over here.
Comparison's the thief of joy.
Pay no attention to the wife behind the curtain.
Then she's telling him how hard it's been for her to be his wife, to feel so unimportant. And then she says, remember Mother's Day when you came over for 15 minutes? And then she stops herself. Just never mind.
It doesn't even matter. You're just going to come up with some other lame excuse or some reason why you were being a dick to me. We don't remember things the same. We see everything differently. We're not on the same page. But I just want you to know, it is heartbreaking being your wife.
And our marriage was good when I was important to you, when I felt like I mattered. That was when plural marriage was great. But now she can't stand to see Kody when they're all with the family because she sees him being a great partner, being a great parent. And those are things that he's not willing to offer her in their relationship.
Being a dad who cares, who helps in the home, who makes sure that the kids feel great and secure and they have nurtured relationships. None of these things that her children get to experience. None of these things that she gets to experience.
Kody says, so for us, plural marriage doesn't work. And Christine tells us, no, for us, marriage doesn't work. This isn't a plural marriage thing. Wouldn't work even if we were a monogamous couple.
There's favoritism. Christine knows it. Everybody knows it. It's nice to have somebody actually verbalize it on the show and mention it directly to Kody, even though I don't think he heard it or is going to take it seriously as he should.
Christine's trying to wrap this up. She's really ready for him to get out of her house. He's too close to the bed as the sun's going down. So she tells him, you know, why do you want me to stay? And he says, because he's supposed to. But you don't really want me to.
So why fight this? Just let me go.
Then they both just say, I'm sorry to each other. And Kody finally gets to the conclusion here. We can't make ourselves into something we don't want to be because we've been trying to do that for years now.
And we have a very pensive ending where it's just them kind of staring at each other in silence. I wonder how that actually wrapped up in person because, you know, you had to, well, time to be hitting the old dusty trail and put on your coat and leave, or Robyn pulling up in the minivan honking the horn.
You know, he stormed out in front of her. He opened all the doors. He left. He didn't look back. He didn't say goodbye. Probably said something shitty on the way out.
He forgot his phone over on the tripod. He had to come back in, knock on the door again.
Just when she thought he was gone. Where were the kids during this conversation?
I don't think they were in the house because they did get a little higher volume than normal too at a few spots.
Yeah, and that room is like a loft to downstairs. It's not like a private area at all.
Yeah, there's no doors. Well, they did install a door, and that was where some of that relationship crumbling started as well too.
That is the end of the first episode of season 17. Wow. That was a tough one to recap. It's hard when it's just a solid, nonstop conversation.
Back and forth, but there was a lot to unpack. There was a lot of subtleties, a lot of lies to catch Kody in, and a lot of things to run the tape back on.
I have a feeling there will be a lot more of that this season.
Gonna be plenty of that. More where that came from.
Next episode, While Janelle's house fights through COVID-19, Isabel has exciting news about her future. Then, Christine reveals her plans to move to Salt Lake City with Truly as Kody struggles to let go.
The struggle is real, and at least Kody will be swinging by to help Janelle through COVID, just like he promised Gabe and Garrison he would. I'm sure he's going to be stocking up the orange juice, the tissues.
Tylenol Dad of the Year.
Yeah, he's going to be stepping up his game and impressing and being there nonstop. 100% support, domestic dad.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to tweet with us about the episode at surviving_pod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next week.